Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chasing Leadville 100. Let's go lift. Alright guys, so that was the workout. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna go eat, do some recovery, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning for a sunrise run. Okay, so we just got done with an easy 6 miles on the road. I know I don't hit the road all too often, but this is part of my taper process. So in today's video, we're gonna talk through a few different recovery and taper strategies. I actually signed up for a race this weekend, super last minute. So I will definitely take you guys through that race next week, but I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to take you through what a taper week looks like for an ultra runner, but then also kind of describe the importance of taking a recovery week, a recovery phase during a training block, and then also how important it is to truly taper for a race. So part of my taper is actually doing some road runs. So instead of strenuously putting myself through more trail runs before my ultra on Saturday, I'm hitting the road quite a bit this week. So we're not completely backing off of training, we're just reducing the load. So everyone has a different strategy when it comes to load management for taper week, but I'm taking mileage back quite a bit. I'm taking time on feet back quite a bit, and I'm taking elevation gain back. So we've got, I think, like 5 or 6 road runs this week leading up to this race, and they're all super easy with one speed session this week, but it's the shortest speed session that I normally do. So taking the opportunity to hit the road for some awesome and beautiful road runs here in Utah. So it's time to head back to the house, get some food, and we can talk through some more recovery strategies. So something that I always recommend taper week or the week before your race is to have all of your gear already lined up and ready to go, figuring out how much nutrition you're gonna need on course, and just making sure that you have everything. That way the day before the race, you're not like scrounging trying to figure out where everything is. So I have kind of a process already lined up because I've had so many longer runs. So I generally know what I'm gonna bring, but this is kind of an idea of what I bring, a little mishmash. So I always make sure to have my bladder or whatever bottles I'm using already cleaned and ready to go. I'm gonna bring a 1 liter bladder because there's a section of this race that doesn't have an aid station for a long period of time. So I'm gonna need a little bit more water than generally. I have my Ultra Spire Bronco vest. That's what I've been running in recently and I've been absolutely loving it. So that's what I have set out. I've calculated that I'm gonna need approximately 5 electrolyte packets. So I'll start with 1 in the bladder and then I'll bring these 5 to have on hand to refill at different aid stations. It's gonna be hot, so I definitely wanna overpack as far as electrolytes go versus underpack, and these are so light that it's just so easy to bring on the go. I always bring Pepto because you never know. It's definitely something I always recommend, and also Advil, Tylenol, little baggie. I have that kind of stashed away right now, but that's also what I would recommend bringing, if not for you, for someone else who might need it along the way. I'm bringing this tiny little like real salt just in case I feel like I need a little extra sodium, in case I'm losing too much water, just bringing a little extra salt. And then I have kind of my ace in the hole. So I don't do caffeine on race day. I don't do like whole serving of caffeine until I'm feeling like I really, really need it. So I'll probably bring this out like maybe mile 25 to kind of feel really rejuvenated for the last section of the race. Then I've already calculated I'm gonna need approximately like 7 to 8 gels depending on how fast I'm running this race. So I'll have these kind of laid out the night before exactly what I need, but I already have that calculated, I'll already have that ready to go. I'll bring 1 Go bar to have right before the race within like 30 minutes of the start. And then I'll also have 1 at an aid station or a crew station. That way I have some real food if I'm really struggling and really feel like I need it. As far as chafing prevention, with the increasing heat conditions and with sweating more and obviously having a heavier pack, chafing is a real issue. So I always recommend having some sort of chafing gel. I use, it's called chamois butter. It's actually a triathlon product. It comes in a big tube. I use that, and I also use Squirrel's nut butter. So I'm not gonna bring this whole thing with me, but I'll basically dollop a chunk out and have it in a little baggie on the go. Then I will have blister prevention. So I have the socks that I always run in. They are the right socks. I'm wearing the same ones that I always wear, not trying anything new on race day. Having those laid out for me and ready to go, washed already as well, which does actually impact the material quite a bit. And then I have Alpine armor. I am terrible at promoting this, but this is actually my product that me and my husband created last year. I struggled with absolutely horrible blisters post chemo. There was a period of time where I would get blisters from running 2 to 3 miles and they would cover the entire bottom of my feet. So we actually created this product because no other product on the market worked for me, especially with running in the mountains, having wet feet oftentimes. This is honestly the only product that's ever worked for me. So I can tell you firsthand, it really does work. It's super sticky. It stays on for days if you apply it on dry skin and apply it properly. But I will have this in my bag, which is just a basically ready to go kit where I've cut these like longer strips of Alpine Armor blister prevention tape into some like toe pieces, some heel pieces, basically like on the go, like grabbing exactly what I need. That way I'm not like fumbling around or trying to make things work on the go. And last but not least, I'll have my eye protection and then my footwear that I'm gonna wear on race day. So you guys have seen me wear these. I wear these all the time. I already know that they're super comfortable for long runs, and obviously I like the way that they look, so that's part of it as well. And then I'm gonna actually be wearing the Ultra Flies for this race. It's not gonna be a super duper technical race, and I wanted something that's pretty lightweight. And I do like these on some faster days. So I'm gonna try all these out and we will see how everything goes. So that's kind of my process for laying things out before my race. Now let's talk about nutrition. Nutrition and hydration are super important for taper week. So just like nutrition is super important for training, nutrition is super, super important in taper week. Increasing carbs is something that I do. So a really easy way to do that is just incorporating more smoothies with a lot more fruit, higher quantities of rice, potatoes, etc. Just increasing the quantity of carbs that I'm consuming, but then also just making sure that I'm having high quality sources of food as well. That makes me feel the best. So I make sure to do that as well. So let's make a smoothie. few other things that I use for good recovery during race week are doing extra mobility and foam rolling. For me, that's what loosens my body up and makes me feel the most primed and ready to race. So, one last thing, the cold plunge. Something that I do, Friday. Recovering really well is super important, so I'm optimizing my recovery by continuing the cold plunge, even when I don't necessarily want to. It's cold today. And that wraps up another episode of Chasing Leadville 100. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Woo!